Hai, kembali lagi di Jejak Lahap Indonesia. Kali ini akan ada masakan-masakan yang menjadi pilihan pemerintah untuk melambangkan 5 hidangan nasional khas Indonesia. Ya, salah satunya adalah nasi goreng. Nasi goreng ini luar biasa. Mau dari yang di pinggir jalan sampai hotel bintang 5 juga ada, ya. Cuman kali ini karena saya berharap bisa menjangkau audiens atau penonton yang lebih besar, mohon dimaklumin ya, unsur bahasa Inggrisnya akan keluar gitu ya. Karena harapan saya dari kemarin itu, dari episode yang sebelumnya, banyak komen yang nanya, is this going to be in English? I'd really like to understand. Jadi buat teman-teman Jejak Lahap Indonesia yang berbahasa Indonesia, mohon memaklumi kalau nanti banyak bahasa Inggrisnya yang keluar, karena kan memang menjadi misi kita, salah satu misi kita adalah membuat orang cinta sama yang namanya masakan Indonesia and berhenti dengan hidden gem ya. Makanan Indonesia itu udah harus di panggung internasional. Oke, so ngomongin nasi goreng. Nasi goreng yang lepas dari nasi lah. Ada memang istilah nasi goreng di mana bahannya nggak nasi gitu. Itulah uniknya Indonesia ya. Nasi goreng di Indonesia itu ada 104 macam. Bayang nggak ya, 1/4 dari tahun itu kalau tiap hari kita makan nasi goreng, setiap hari itu ada nasi goreng. Okay? So, in Indonesia, there's 104 types of fried rice. We are the nation of fried rice. Out of that 104, there's 36 that are original recipes, and there are 59 that are creation or a fusion of the original 36 recipes. So you can imagine if you ate Indonesian fried rice for a year, a third of the year is gone already just by eating fried rice every single day. Now I can't cook 104 in this episode. I'm not going to even attempt to cook the 36. What I am going to show you is what is most common, or at least I feel is most common, but also to give you 3 variations, because then you will see the 3 colors of fried rice that are typical in Indonesia. And I'm going to start with the basic because I live in Jakarta and I live in the island of Java. So I'm going to try to show you the first fried rice, which is called Nasi Goreng Java. Nasi Goreng Jawa, okay. Karena ini bahasa Inggris bahasa Indonesia ya, jadi nanti ada okay. Nasi Goreng Jawa, Javanese fried rice. There you go. Right? So it's predominantly with sweet soy sauce. And we say sweet soy sauce, which is quite original from Indonesia. It's made from fermented soya beans. If you ever come across, let me show you the book. Let me find the book. Okay. I know this to be in Bahasa Indonesia, right? Seni Rasa, and the author is Rima Sukri. I hope I didn't master that. But this book basically outlines and gives you a general idea of all the ingredients you would find in Indonesia. And one of them is kecap manis, or sweet soy sauce. Sweet soy sauce is basically made from fermented soya beans with caramelized palm sugar. And it takes a process of minimum 2 weeks. That's my understanding. But in Indonesia alone, you see these bottles? This is just a tiny drop of what soya sauces are available in Indonesia. Mind you, we have thousands of islands, and each island, each province, Each city has their own secret ingredient or their soy sauce. So depending on what your taste buds may prefer, be it more inclined towards sweet or savory, that's where you get to pick. And if you ask me, well, which one is which? I can't tell you right now, but I will tell you what I usually use, right? For Javanese, I use this. I don't want to show you the brand because I'm not endorsed yet by anyone. So I'm going to just tell you that this soy sauce is from Central Java, and I tend to use it for most of my Javanese based cooking, just because I feel that the sweetness is just right. And if you want to know what it is, send me a note and I'll tell you in the comment, right? Okay. And so I've got this one also, which is specifically for barbecue or grilled items. And if you want to know, or if you happen to buy Indonesian satay, you will always see this brand. Okay. I've got another one, which is a savory soya sauce, and this is from Medan. Most Medanese people will know when I say the two swans, what it means. And then I've got a specific one, which is from Sumatra. This is a sweet soya sauce. And I usually use it for things that are broth based. So anything with a lot of water or a lot of liquid, I tend to use this brand. And again, if you want to know the brands that I'm using today, just comment below and I'll tell you. Right. So according to my reference for all Indonesian cuisines, and this one as well. And let me show you another one. I'm pretty sure you would have known Sri Oven, which is the rice book, because of course the base of what we're cooking today is rice. And they all say that rice comes from, it's arguable, rice comes from various countries, mainly China, mainly Middle Eastern countries, going through the Silk Road trade, ended up in Indonesia around the 600th century, and that's how we started having rice-based food. Got my handy dandy notebook. So, because it's a lot, you know. If you're talking about rice, which has been in this world, you know, around 2000 BC, then there's a lot of history behind it. But let's just skip the history part and get into the Nasi Goreng fried rice part. Okay. Right. So, rice in Indonesia is typically made from either the variety or where the area it originates. And basically that's divided into two. We call one perak, which means when the cooked rice is cold, it's separated, it's not clump and sticky. And that's ideally what you would use to make fried rice. And then there's the ones that are scientifically, it's called high in amylosa. Rice that is typically high in amylosa, that's like Korean rice, Japanese rice. So it's more sticky. Some people tend to assume there's sticky rice mixed into it. We even, in Indonesia, we also have sticky fried rice, which is very rare now. So if you happen to see it, find it, try it. But I'm going to start now with the Javanese fried rice. Now, according to the maestro William Wong, so when you cook fried rice, your base is actually the egg, right? But before we go into the egg, my handy dandy wok. Whenever you get yourself this kind of wok, you need to treat it first. Fun fact, right? If you get this kind of a wok, what you do is you heat it up first, have it change color, right? Then turn off the heat, have some oil in it, and then basically rinse it off, don't soap it, and you're basically good to go, right? And so I have, just in case, I want to make sure that I've got my ingredients ready, because once it goes, then, you know, it's kind of a high-speed thing. I try my best to crack my eggs one by one in a bowl, just in case. But you know, sometimes I'm not patient. So the best shortcut is to make sure that you actually source your eggs from a reputable place. The fresher, the better. Although I can't say that I'm versed in knowing which egg is the most fresh until I get home, of course. Then I know. Test it in water and so on. But rule of thumb, fun fact, when you buy an egg, make sure it's clean. The eggshell is porous, so if it's not clean, you're going to get other bacteria in there, which should not be in there. I think I'm going to try this, right? Just wait, because from what I read, right, be it the old 1902 Nasi Goreng, even the Dutch have a song, they love Indonesian Nasi Goreng so much that, okay, it's smoking. Better shut up and just cook. Right? This goes really quick. You want to make sure that your eggs are set. Now I'm going to start with the basic for all Nasi Goreng is shallots, garlic, and chili. This is already a mix of the shallot and the garlic. That smell is what you're looking for, right? And so here we go, rice in the pan. Oops. And you want to leave the rice to cook a bit so you get that smoky flavor. I'm sorry if I'm not looking at you as much as I should, but I'm cooking at high heat, so. And you want it at high heat. That's when you get that smoky flavor from the fried rice that you want. Now, since this is a Javanese fried rice, right? You can see all that blackened smoke is starting to. You want this, the soya sauce to go in now. Let me just decrease this a bit. I'm not that. I wish I was as worse as William Wongso, but I'm not. In comes the sweet soy sauce. This is okay. I tend to smell my cooking instead of tasting it. So that's my gift. You can see the color is slowly changing to a more golden brown. And this would be your Javanese fried rice. Now, the concept of fried rice started because in the old days, you would cook rice, you would steam it, and you won't necessarily finish all the rice. And so, as a really fundamental item in Indonesian food, you wouldn't want to waste it, but you wouldn't want to eat cold rice, right? So the way they did it is they would heat it up, you know, and that's why it's important to have the egg first. That aroma is what is enticing. Now, because it's a leftover dish, I'm going to just give a little bit more of this. And then I'm going to season it with salt. There's no salt taste here. So I'm going to season it a bit with salt. Right? Now, it being a leftover dish, anything goes. If you've got leftover chicken from the night before, if you've got leftover prawns from the night before, you can use it. You can use fresh items like, I'm gonna make one with a fresh chicken for you so that you can see. But if you see here, right, that golden color and a bit of that smokiness is what you want. And it's important why you get this kind of pan, because you won't get that burnt kind of aroma unless you use this kind of pan. Right, it's missing in salt. So I'm not endorsed by anyone. It's just that it's easier for me to get this kind. So it's easier for me to pour. But most Indonesians will have it in a bowl or, no, not yet. Some people, when they cook, they need to taste it. Some people, of course, you cook with your sight as well. For me, I base my cooking on the smell. So for me right now, yep. It's not, I don't smell the saltiness yet. And maybe that's because of the sweet soya sauce. I think that's enough. Let it cook. Salt is always given at the end, so you know that your cooked items are seasoned after it's cooked. Yeah, and that's it. Right, so this is your Javanese fried rice. We usually serve it with a slice or slices of tomato, and there's pickled cucumber, carrot, and a bit of the bird's eye chili. I'm just gonna cook that. And of course, for that all-encompassing roundness, you serve it with crackers. Now, usually it's I've got 4 types of crackers here. So you have the prawn crackers, that's what's usually served at home. Or if you tend to buy it, street vendors will give you this. And it's supposed to be shallot-based crackers with a round food coloring around it, but that's what's commonly used. Now I'm going to show you what would usually take place at home. So I'm going to slice this. This is how my mom used to serve it for us. Bless her. And she knows that look at how beautiful these tomatoes are. She knows that her kids don't really like vegetables, so she would only use like 1 or 2 slices. I'm gonna show you this afterwards, right? Let me get this out of the way so you can actually, the camera can actually see what it looks like. Wait, hold on. Wait. Sorry, there's 2 cameras, so I'm gonna show you where what one is, right? I think that's it, yeah. Right, and of course, the pickles. This is basically vinegar, sugar, and that's it. You want to put this on the side. Now, for any food to look scrumptious, you know, that 3 color, yellow, green, and red is there, right? Sometimes at home, I would add an extra egg because why not, you know? And so, let me put this here. I want to show you this up close because it's just gorgeous. There's nothing better than, let me show you. You see that? How beautiful and golden that is, right? How beautiful and golden that is. That's just gorgeous. Right, this is the basic, just rice and egg. Now, I want to show you another version of a Javanese fried rice. I'm going to do another version of Nasi Goreng Jawa or Javanese fried rice, which I will use fresh chicken. And I'm going to add a little bit more of the shallots because that will give out the flavor. And also terasi, which is belacan, which is a fermented fish or fish or prawn paste. Lost my thought there for a bit. Let me get this out of the way. All right. Okay, so like I said, it's really important to basically prep yourself, get everything in line, in place, because things go really fast when you're making fried rice. And it's supposed to be that way. By doing so, you get that smokiness, you get that hot meal. In my younger days, like long time ago, that would mean having wonderful fried rice in the morning as part of my breakfast. That's what my mom would make. And so, right, let me get this going. So I've got breast meat here, chicken breast meat. Oops. You want that in there, right? And you want, maybe you like chicken thighs instead. All right, that's gonna splatter because it has liquid in it. And so let that cook a bit. And don't mind some of the bits that are sticking to the pan. You do want to scrape it off because that becomes the tasteness or the, we call it lagit, but most of the Western world knows it as umami. Oops, did that fly out? Sorry. Right, just as this is getting ready, I'm going to put it to the side and get the egg in. Right? Cook a bit. Right? Right. Want to cook it well. And again, don't worry about the things that are sticking. That adds into the smokiness and the flavor of their fried rice. And it's going to scrape off anyway. So, right? And just as it begins to set in, you've got all the juices of the chicken coming out and your egg is setting in. That's when you add the rice. Do have your rice ready. Ideally, of course, like what I have here, it's leftover from the day before. But even if you forgot or you don't have any leftovers, you want to cook it just like an hour, 2 hours before. The important thing is it gets cooled down enough so that it doesn't really stick when you cook it, all right? I'm looking at the crew and they're all kind of smelling this right? That's why it's important for the egg to go in first. That smell, that luscious smell that you get, it's not actually from the sauces or anything, but it's actually just from the egg, right? Okay, just as this is beginning to set, and you can see those pearls of egg because you put it in at the right time, right? I just want to make sure that this is, you've got all the lumps out. Even if there are lumps, doesn't matter. The temperature of the pan will sort it out for you. All right. Right. Leave it that so that there gets to be that smokiness that you want from your nasi goreng, right? I'm going to put in the belacan now. And that's going to kick off that aroma, right? Mix it again. My God, if you could, you know, somebody ought to really invent a smelling television or, you know, device so that you can get this, this lusciousness of aroma. Get my sambal in there, just a bit. And this time around, I do want to add a little bit more shallot because I've got that extra protein from the chicken. Ooh, this is going to be one hell of a nasi goreng, right? Mix that in. I mean, don't be afraid to turn off the heat if you think that, oh, this is going too fast for me. I need to slow down a bit. I don't want things to get burnt. It's fine. Just turn it off, turn the heat off, and then you can turn it back on when you feel that all the ingredients have been incorporated properly, right? Just right. Smells glorious. You get that burnt kind of aroma. I shouldn't say burnt because that sounds off, but smokiness. Yeah, that smokiness aroma, right? And so now that I'm certain that all the chili, the shallots, and everything is incorporated properly, in goes the sweet soy sauce. Right? And to add color, I'm gonna put in, what's daun bawang? Spring onions, right? Give it a bit of that color, that green color that you want, that's enticing. Oh, that caramelized aroma, yum. That looks gorgeous. Real feast in the eye. Right, you've got your egg, you've got your chicken, you've got your chili, caramelized sweet soy sauce. Imagine having that on a Sunday, right? Waking up, best brunch ever. Right? So, done. Right? Let us get the tomato ready. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love nasi goreng, and it's no wonder that people love it, right? In Indonesia, as I said before, there's 104 types of Indonesian fried rice, 36 original, 59 that are fusions or creative creations of it. And then there's the special 9, I call it, which is called Nasi Goreng, but it's actually not made from rice. Example, Nasi Goreng Kegili. That's made from corn. They dry the corn, grind it coarsely, and that becomes the base of this Nasi Goreng. So there isn't any rice in it. You can create it with the same spices. And you know, if you're not in Indonesia, you can basically go to any Asian food store, get yourself a good shallot, get yourself garlic you can find anywhere, chili, which you may find or not find. Even if you don't find bird's eye chili or the small chilies, you can somehow substitute it with a different kind of red pepper, but it's best to get a normal Asian chili. And then, you know, I mean, we live in this century. You don't actually have to make everything from scratch. There are shortcuts. I'm not going to show you the brand because I'm not endorsing a certain thing. But now in the market, at least in Indonesia, and I'm pretty sure it's also imported to or exported to other countries, you can get fried rice base that is powder base. So it's you know, dry kind of base. And then you can get the fried rice base that's paste, which you would, you know, it's the most similar to what I would have in having a fresh one. Even if, say, oh, I'm not sure I want to put so much protein in it. I just want rice and maybe an egg or maybe some vegetables like mushrooms, make it vegetarian. You can use margarine as your base. That gives out the flavor as well. But what you need to make sure you have if you are making a Javanese fried rice is the sweet soy sauce. That's like one of the, it's not a Javanese fried rice if you don't have sweet soy sauce in it. So, okay, this one is lacking salt. I'm just going to put a bit of salt and white pepper. So when you make Indonesian fried rice, if you look at all the recipes, there's basically 5 ingredients that remain the same. It's shallots, garlic, right? Chili, salt and pepper, white pepper, right? Powdered white pepper. All right, so let me put this aside. Hold on. I guess the chicken gives out more juiciness into the fried rice. So as you can see, it's a little bit more moist than the previous one, which only had egg as its base, right? Tomato. I'm gonna add a little bit more of the spring onion just to give it a little bit more color. All right, we got our Indonesian pickle, right, with the cucumber, carrots, bird's eye chili, and a little bit of the shallots too, and then basically the fried onion. And there you have it. That's my luxurious take on a let me show you, come over here to the other camera so that you can see. Right, what a beautiful color. Imagine having that for brunch or after a hangover. Right, that just fits the bill, right? Wonderful. So if you notice this beautiful apron that I have on, it's from Jeng Sri. I'll have the details below you can source it. But wearing an apron is important when you cook. It not only functions as a catch-all for any sauce or splatter, but if you notice, your oven, the source of heat is right here, your internal organs. So if you don't wear an apron, that means you're letting this part of your body be directly sourced to heat constantly. And that may not be a good thing. So wearing an apron is for not only your hygiene, but also your health. So wear an apron. And if you like this design, go to Junk Street, details below. Now I'm going to start again with another version. Let me get an extra bowl. Hold on. So I'm starting this one. This is what I personally usually make at home, which is a non-soya sauce, sweet soy sauce based. So its only ingredient base is the chili, shallots, and garlic. And I'm going to cook it with some salted anchovies. These are from Medan, Sumatra. They're quite salty. You can't wash them first. So, use them sparingly. You don't need a lot to bring out the flavor. But what I'm going to do is basically, get that. It's not hot yet. You want to check the heat. Fun fact, if you want to check the heat of your wok or your pan, if it's hot enough, you need to be able to put your palm, about 10 centimeters away. And if you can't stand it anymore, that means it's too hot. So it should be at a point where, you can feel the hotness or the temperature in your palm, but it's not going to scorch you. So I'm gonna, and you can see it's starting to smoke. I'm just gonna put a little bit and basically cook that. I'm looking for my previous utensils, but let me get back to you. I washed it and I forgot to get it back. Hold on. Let me just fry this first. And what you do is, once it's golden enough, don't throw away the oil. That's what you're going to use as the base to cook your egg. And again, the egg is always the base. Right? That's what you want to bring out that aroma, that delicious aroma. Right? Now, fried rice supposedly was recorded back in the 600th century, and it was during the Sui dynasty in China, and based on the Silk Road and the trade that happened, that's how it ended up in Indonesia. First to have the story of fried rice is in the Java Island. And then, of course, it spread out throughout other provinces in Indonesia. If you can't get everything out, don't worry. It's going to cook with the egg. I'm just going to stop here. Right? I've got my egg ready. Oops. Right. If you have the shells in it, it's not a big deal. Get it out. You can do it with your thumb. You can do it with your fork. You can do it with the eggshell. Don't worry about it. It is what it is, right? Now these are more golden, just because if you go to a supermarket, if you happen to be in Japan, where their eggs have higher omega ingredients in it or substance in it, It's fine. Some people say that the more orange the egg, the better. I just love eggs, so you can do anything from care. Right. Just whisk that a bit. You know, sometimes when I'm lazy, I don't even whisk my egg. I just let the egg whites and the yolk be as it is. Right. So now your oil is basically seasoned with the anchovies, the salted anchovies, and that becomes the base of your umami or legit taste, as we say. You basically don't need to add anything else. You've got the salty, your pan is smoking, in goes the egg. All right. Oh, what a beautiful color. All right. And as it's beginning to set, if you want your rice to be more covered with the egg, when it's runny like this, put the rice in. But if you want it more as curdles, then put the rice in as the egg is setting. My mouth is watering. You can smell this. Oh my God. Right? Lovely. Right. And that's why if you happen to be in Indonesia, you see these fried rice vendors on the street, you will notice that the first thing that they put in is the egg. And it's for that enticing aroma that you get from the eggs being fried. You don't need butter or margarine. Actually, the egg with the hot oil itself will already bring out that aroma. I can see the crew already like eyeing my pan on this, right? Okay, I'm going to increase this is a really good portable, what do you call it? Cooker. Because it's like really gets that temperature to the heat that I need it. Okay, in goes my trinity of shallots, garlic, and chili. This is what I do at home. So I don't even put the sweet soy sauce in it. And this is my go-to for a late night meal. In Indonesia, you can find fried rice on the street, on tents, in food courts, in restaurants. If you happen to be lucky enough to sit in a ristaffel, it's part of the ristaffel menu. And fried rice, I mean, morning, lunch, afternoon, dinner, late night, after midnight, you can find it in Indonesia, especially if you live in the big cities in Indonesia where you've got the online deliveries basically at any time. In most of the delivery apps, there's an icon which says 24 hours, 24 jam. And most definitely fried rice is up there as the menu that's available 24 hours. So you see, you've got that burnt aroma. Right, in goes my anchovies. In goes, and I'm gonna let that sit a bit so that the smoky aroma infuses with the fried rice. Now this is just a really simple dish. You can see it's not even 10 minutes, right? Leftovers, don't throw it away. Just a little bit more salt. I'm salivating. I can smell the salted fish and the eggs, and it's just Right, I'm going to be quiet and just mix this before I get my saliva all over it, drooling all over it. Right, and there you go. Can you imagine that? How beautiful and how simple that is? 5-10 minutes, that's all you need, right? Okay, I'm taking back my previous utensils just because it's easier for me to plate it properly. Because I want to do something that most of us Indonesians would do when we have this kind of fried rice. Let me get this sorted out first. Let me just make this a little bit more round, and you'll see why in a minute. All right. Okay, got this. And I've got, hold on, let me put this aside. I mean, you work with what space you have, right? And if your pantry needs you to put things aside a bit, that's fine too. Right? Let me just put this here. And get the pickled in. But I want to add something which normally Indonesians do when they do order their nasi goreng. And so first things you do, when you do buy a fried rice from an Indonesian vendor, is if you want spicy, you say pedas. If you want just normal, you say sedang. And if you want non-spicy, just say tidak, which is no, tidak pedas. Right? Now, this right? You need your fried egg. All right. And you can see, you know, I wish I could have a camera that kind of shows the other side of this, where all the crews are going, oh my God, because the smell, it's just the smell, you know. All right, and it's smoking. If you live in an apartment, get your windows open. You might, you know, the fire alarm might go off, and you don't want that. You don't want to explain yourself for causing the, whatchamacallit, the fire alarm to go off. I don't know how to fit. Am I going to do this? Oops. Can I do this? There you go. All right. You want it a bit runny? Then now is about the time to just a little bit more. All right. Now, if you were buying this from a vendor, this would be the cracker or the kerupuk you would use. Where's my gloves? I'm just gonna use this. Hold on, they would use their hands, and I'm pretty sure if you're gonna be sitting on the side of the street, you would understand that. So, and there you go. That's, let me show it to one camera, and I'm gonna go down and show you in the other camera, okay? Oops. Oopsie daisy. So there you go. Wait, There you go. That's about right. Let me go over here and show you. Right. Right. There you go. Now this is the fun part. Right. You do want that yolk, right? And that's just glorious, right? That's what you call your Indonesian nasi goreng. There you go. Love it. This last nasi goreng, this is my lazy nasi goreng, okay? I may not have chili at home that day. I've got one onion left, maybe, so get in there with anchovies. This was fermented. This is, for me, I always have this at home because it's, it's a base. When I don't want to, when I don't even want to cook fried rice, I put in my rice cooker, my rice, my garlic, and this. That's how lazy I can be sometimes, but we all have our plus and minuses. So again, I'm going to cook the anchovies. Just get the aroma kicking, get them basically done, have that color, and it basically adds texture to your fried rice. All right. If you are living in an apartment and you are worried about your alarm, your smoke alarm setting off, what you can do is basically fry this at a lower heat. It just takes longer for it to be set. So you can do that without setting the alarms off, definitely. Now, this time I'm going to let it brown a little bit more because I want that crunch in my nasi goreng, my lazy nasi goreng. And this is, a lot of times you will see this type of nasi goreng in restaurants where maybe sweet soya sauce is not a local ingredient. So they would use just normal soya sauce, meaning just a savory, dark savory one. And that's fine. It does the purpose as well. I'm just going to mix that loosely so there's some white in there as well. Sometimes I don't even, just put the whole egg in. It's called a lazy nasi goreng, which definitely is part of Indonesia's variety of nasi goreng, just because each province has its own soya sauce base. This one, most Medanese people will know. I'll just tell you that the logo is two swans, and most Medanese will know. Okay, I've stirred that enough. Get this in there, the rice. Let it set a bit so that there's this smokiness. All right. And there's never enough rice for a fried rice. They say that the normal portion is 250 grams. I mean, if you're making lazy fried rice, put in as much as you want, What you just need to do is make sure it's seasoned. In Indonesia, sometimes we call this nasi goreng pucat, pale fried rice, just because we don't add any sauces. Most people in this case will use butter or margarine to add on to the flavor. All right. I mean, you can add smoked beef as part of the new variations, right? Smoked beef, smoked ham. If you're not, particular about halal or non-halal. What you don't find a lot is seafood unless you're in a restaurant, because of course for seafood it needs to be stored properly. Seafood has a short shelf life, of course, or a span. Once it's, cooked, once it's out of the water, excuse me, within hours it needs to be processed. All right, in goes the fish. In goes the shallots. I want to use a little bit of this Medan sauce. Now, the people in Medan, they usually use this sauce when they're cooking noodles or rice. And it's really, you just want a little bit because you've got that anchovy in there. You don't want it to be too salty. Oh, lovely. There you go. Yep. And that's it. Maybe you want to add a little bit of white pepper. If you feel you want to add a little bit of sweetness from shallots, you can add it the last minute. It's fine because you caramelize it basically. I mean, it's doing the same thing as what you did before. Oil, egg, rice, and then the actual ingredients, and you're set. Yum. Right? And there you go. You've now seen 3 types of rice out of the 104. Let's take it a little closer to 36 as your base. Now, I know there may be some very sensitive comments later because fried rice, Indonesians love our fried rice. I know I'm gonna get a comment where, why didn't you have the Aceh or the Sundanese turmeric one? Why didn't you have the seafood one? Why didn't you have the rendang one? Okay, what we can ask is for Indonesia to have a Nasi Goreng festival, right? You've got 104 types, I mean, seriously, if you go to Makassar in Sulawesi, they've got red fried rice. And that's, they put crab meat in it. Oh my God. It's like, wow. And, even Aceh, you've got that Indian Silk Road spices in there. And it's spicy because of all the, different types of herbs and spices. Oh my God. I've only got a few minutes of your attention before I bore you with the history of it. But there you go, right? And so with this one, because it's pale and I want to highlight more of the salty savoriness of it, I'm going to pair it with a cracker called emping. I don't know what melinjo is in English. I may have to look that on up. But yeah, I'm going to serve this with just that. And a bit of the pickles, of course, just to give it. And let me show you in this camera, okay? Oh. I'm going to show you in this. I have to admit, I raided one of my producer's house for these crackers. I took it from his home because I didn't feel like making my own. But let me just show you in the camera. Get this. All right. Oh. I think Indonesia can be the world kitchen just because of the richness of food items that we have to offer. I mean, anybody who's been in Indonesia can tell you, if you come to Indonesia, forget your diet, okay? Just put it on pause for you to experience how luscious and beautiful Indonesian food is. Right, so there we have it. The last nasi goreng, right? I mean, welcome to wonderful Indonesia. Just remember this, right? What I showed you today is what I usually have in my kitchen. Every Saturday, I'd peel my garlic, peel my shallots, put it in a processor, cover it with oil, and so it's good to go whenever I need it. And that includes my nasi goreng paste. These three items are always in my refrigerator. Having said that, you don't need to do that. There are a lot of options for you to make Indonesian fried rice without you having to start from zero. Go to your nearest Asian store, grocery store, if you're not in Indonesia. If you're in Indonesia, I mean, your mini mart will have, you know, the nearest one to your house will have these kind of base for you to make your Indonesian fried rice. And all you have to do is just get yourself sweet soy sauce. I showed you 4 types of nasi goreng. Nasi goreng by the Indonesian government has been stated as one of the 5 national cuisines that represent Indonesia. Out of that 5, there's rendang, nasi goreng, gado-gado, soto, and satay. And you'll be seeing that in Jejak Lahap, Indonesia. So this is the recipe that I showed you. This is the nasi goreng Java, and I'll show you in this camera, right? With the sweet soy sauce. This is just with the egg, and I made one with fresh protein or chicken, right? With the sweet soy sauce, right? And this is the prawn crackers, where this is in Indonesia. This is usually made from shallots, right? They swirl it as they're making it. This is what I usually have at home, right? This is Nasi Goreng Kampung. And if you buy from the street vendor, you're going to see these crackers more often. And the last is basically Nasi Goreng Pucet or Nasi Goreng Savory. And I call it my lazy nasi goreng, my lazy fried rice, because basically I hardly use any sauces, just a little bit here and there. I'm saying a lot because I'm salivating. I'm going to eat now. See you in the next Jejak Lahap Indonesia. Bye!